Welcome back to today's video. We got some stuff going down today. In the last video, I think I mentioned that we're gonna have to be replacing my valve cover gaskets. I drove it across the street the other night to the gas station to fill up, and I've been having this issue since I bought the car. It's losing oil on one of the heads, technically the valve cover. So I finally bought the kit off of fastwx.com. If you guys have, I believe, earlier than 2007 Subarus, I would definitely recommend going to their website, because a lot of sites are now only selling like the 15 plus Subaru parts, so it's kind of hard to find older parts for the older generations. But fastwx.com will link them below. All of my parts I've bought from them, and super easy website to navigate, as well as they ship in 2 days. Like, I bought these gaskets maybe 3 days ago. They're already here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the Subaru into the garage and we'll get working. Doing a little bit of car limbo right now, moving around everything. Check out this camber on this side. That's pretty insane. Now I can show you guys the exhaust cover in the daylight. Looks so much better. Feels good being back in this car more often. Also, we're doing an oil change within the process, because you kind of have to do that while you're doing the gasket replacement. So this is all good that it's happening in the same time. Luckily, it's not super cold today, so we're actually going to leave the garage door open. I think it's the 30-degree area, which, I mean, that is cold, but it's not as cold as what we've been used to. Hold the car in halfway, get some good lighting on this thing, and then we'll get to work. Gotta be careful, because I only have one hood hinge in right now, because I got the other ones with Calvin getting repainted, so I gotta find a good way to prop this thing up. Alright, so I'm gonna let the car cool down a little bit. We just drove a couple miles, so let that cool down. Luckily, I already have a couple things taken out on this side, so this side will be easy. The side that we're having our main problems with, though, is going to be this side, but all we have to take off is the intake on that side, so we're good to go with that. So it kind of helps that I have most of the stuff deleted on either side of there, just the unnecessary things. The first thing we're gonna have to do is basically do an oil change. Half of it we're gonna have to take out the oil right now, because when we take the cases off the side, there's going to be a good amount of oil that's just going to like fall out. So that's why we have the tarp underneath to catch anything, as well as we're just going to drain the oil the traditional way first, so that we get most of that out, as well as I bought a new oil filter. So basically, we're getting this done and an oil change all on the same day, which is kind of nice.
Oh, Jordan's weak. He can't bust the plug. A newborn child could bust a drain plug. Come on! There you go. Wow! Young boy becomes a man. We opted to go with another $5 STP filter because it's nice and cheap, and it says it's engineered to last up to 5,000 miles. We change it every 3,500, so I ain't even really worried about it. That's what I'm running on my car. This is what Jordan will be running on his car for now. So yeah, we're about to pop the filter out, and then we can get started on the real work.
So we're going to toss this on. The underside is completely done after we do this. It's all bolted up, and then we start with the valve covers on the top, and then that's where all the oil should have been drained out of, and the rest of the motor, so that it just makes it easier to work with, so you're not like pulling off the valve covers as it's like dripping everywhere. So throw this on, then the underside is good to go. Alright, so what we're doing right now is I found a really good forum where this gentleman goes through and has pictures of every single step and a list of all the tools you need. So we're going to start using this. So this is the site where they have everything. So if you're looking for this, we'll put the link to this site in the description. Tools are all right there listed above, and there's all the torque specs as well, which is super helpful. Even shows like little tips and tricks on how to make it a little bit easier and super detailed, so thank you to whoever made this. Alright, so first thing you want to do is take off the intake side. We're only taking out the air box portion of it. I guess you could take the rest of this off if you want, but there's no need. So I took the top half off first, set that aside. Then we're going to take out the air filter, bottom half of the box.
Do you have a battery tie down? Remove your battery tie down, because we're going to remove the battery. I'm going to remove the little like battery tray as well, because it's got a ton of crap in here, and in the sake of like cleaning up a little bit, it'd be nice to take it out and dump off all the dust and stuff.
Alright, I just want to show how gross the head is, or the valve cover, before we take it off. Use my light. You can see just how nasty it is. The coil packs right here that we got out. The rear one is a little difficult to take out just because the body line of the car kind of goes in towards the center of it. So the front one's easy, just slip them out, and then that rear one you just gotta like finesse it, which I had him do. Did it a little bit faster than I would have. Put it back in. This thing's gonna look nice and fresh. Not that you'll ever see it down there, but still knowing that it's clean is gonna be nice. All right, one thing I want to point out is when you're taking out the bolts that go into the valve that actually keep the valve cover on, you want to make sure that you're putting the same bolts in the same spot when it goes back on. So a little trick I've seen online is you get a piece of paper or cardboard and you just pretend that this is your valve cover, and when you take them out, I'm gonna put them poked into holes as we go around to keep them exactly the same. So I'll label like maybe this is top, this is bottom, and then we'll poke the holes through, put the bolts through just while it's sitting around. So then when they go back on, they go back on the same exact way. So we'll show you guys how to do that. I just have 2 pieces of cardboard that we're gonna be doing this with. Keeps it super easy to remember where the bolts are gonna go. So this is what I'm talking about. I have my first bolts in right there, just goes through the cardboard, and I labeled this top. So if you can now get the picture of, we're gonna put the next one here, next one here, and all around just to make it a little bit easier.
These hands. My hands are in so much pain. Gosh, if you've done this before, you'll understand, but I've got all mine out except for the bottom, like one out, like bottom rear, like the actual bottom one. It's out, but obviously like it's just hitting the frame rail here, so we can't take it all the way out. It's that one, yeah. Pretty much, I think we're just gonna take it off with the valve cover. That'll be this side. Then we gotta do that side. But I need a break. Like, my hands are like, it's just. I know I had the gloves, so don't even like be like, oh, you should have worn your gloves. Like, you can't finesse it with thick gloves like those. So can we?
Alright, so you can see right up here, all this like kind of like peanut butter looking stuff, that's not good. That means there's been coolant getting in there and mixing with the oil. So I'm thinking if you look up here, the breather has been pretty much blocking everything from coming out the top. So it's kind of had a blockage, which and again, I guess that's why it's only right in this section, not anywhere else. So good thing we took this off now before something worse happens to that one backside, because we need to get fresh oil up in here, and this is not going to allow that to happen. So good thing we found this.
Oh, dude, look at that block. Is that mustard?
That's why. Look at that.
Look at that blockage.
Dude, just, oh.
It's completely blocked.
Dude, that's nasty.
Oh, dude.
This is amazing. Not really, but I'm glad we fixed this.
Your gasket's completely blocked. Look at that hole.
Dude, I'm just doing a quick kind of dentistry work going on here. I'm just going through with an old toothbrush and scraping out most of what we can do. Just a quick little clean job. We'll bring it back outside, spray it again, just to get the final touches off, and then this is going back on. This is the cover cleaned up. Obviously couldn't do a perfect job without like specialized tools, but way better than it was before. We got all the crustiness off of this, so anything that's left is just, you know, extra residue, but that's okay because we're cleaning up stuff as we go. So once completed, all of these gaskets are back on. I got the breather back on, nice and seated. I was actually surprised by how little of torque that you need to actually put onto these things. Everything is pretty much hand tight. All those specs, like I said, are on that website that we linked down. Big ups, bro. So everything is back together on here. The new gasket is on. The next step after this is to put the RTV back on the head, but everything on here looks good to go.
Update and I guess bring you guys up to speed on what we've been doing. So we have both sides off. We have cleaned both of those. We numbered our like little valve cover like models in the order that we're going to be tightening them and putting them in. So it's time to put on the RTV. We're gonna start applying the RTV. We're gonna set you guys up on the tripod and apply the RTV, get the valve cover back on, and just start tightening as we can. I'll probably, once we get it set, I can just go around and like tighten some. If you want to get the other side started with the RTV, I'll hop over there, we'll get that on, and we'll just we'll bang it out and we'll be done. The nozzle was completely like dried up and clogged, but it broke and started coming out the rear end. I told him, I was like, yo, we can like stop and like not do this tonight and go get some non-bunk gasket maker. Shout out to Ryan for giving us this crappy gasket maker.
Well, it's good stuff.
It's good stuff, but you messed up, bud. But no, he said he's gonna send it and he's gonna squeeze it out the bottom and we're just gonna go for it. So that's what you're watching. Changing to the unrecommended method because we can't see the bottom of the head. We're gonna just put some on here because when you think about it, it's still going in the same spot.
All right, left side, passenger side, this is the one that actually had the problem, is now good to go. Now we're gonna tackle the driver's side and then we're gonna be wrapping this up tonight.
That was satisfying, dude. That was
all right guys, we just finished. As you can see, I got some nice stuff all over my face. The car is now completely put back together. The only thing is, what, you see it now? The only thing is we're gonna have to wait until tomorrow night to actually start it because we got to let that RTV dry, and especially with it being extra cold out right now, we have to wait a little bit longer than the 12 hours that it's supposed to. But everything today I think went really well. We had no serious issues with getting any bolts out, which is normally the case. Luckily all the bolts on the motor are aluminum, so nothing rusts and everything was pretty easy to come out. Nothing stripped today. Oil went in fine.
Dude, for everything that we've done today
was like the
honestly
best
it
day.
went really smooth.
Besides like
compared to everything we've done recently, like suspension.
Oh my god, that was terrible. That's 3 days.
That was a 3-day
like
thing.
Spending a whole day on one bolt.
Yeah.
But it was good.
We had rough patches.
It was a good day. Look at
but
that.
Overall it was smooth. Yeah, my hands aren't that dirty anymore. I cleaned
Yeah.
them and I just kind of didn't get back to work that much, but I did a lot today.
So there's our final product. Everything is back together, looking good to go. Everything is tight. All tools are packed away. We had ourselves a successful day. Thanks so much for watching today's video. We hope to see you guys in the next one. Drop a comment down below if you guys need any questions answered about doing this project. We'd love to help. And as well as remember that site that we got all of our instructions from will be linked down below. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out and stay wicked.